Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of June, 2020. Glad to have you guys here. Now listen, we got to watch something called the DMZ. The DMZ stands for Demilitarized Zone. What happened was when the North Korean and South Korean war kind of came to a ceasefire, the war never really ended between North and South Korea. But what they did was they established what was called the DMZ. Basically, each side backed their guns away from the other side, and they established a no-man's zone. It's called a demilitarized zone. It's like an area where they both still have their forces aimed at one another, but there's an area there that separates them. It's like a separation zone that keeps the war from reigniting, If either side goes through that zone, the war could fire right back up again, like it never really quit. And North Korea is probably the most intensely powerful military force for such a small area on Earth. So it's a really small little country. It's probably not even as big as Florida, But they have a military in that little area that is so it's bristling. It's almost like a wolverine. A wolverine's a small animal, but even a bear won't mess with it because it's such a strong fighter. Well, that's what North Korea's like. Countries don't want to mess with them, militarily speaking, because they are so intensely powerful for their size. Now, the South Koreans are probably not really a match for North Korea if North Korea attacks them. So the United States or their allied forces would have to step in and protect South Korea from North Korea if a war started. But there's a pact between China and North Korea. Chinese have a pact. It's a Sino pact between the two countries that basically stipulates that if anybody attacks North Korea, then they're also attacking China, and vice versa. If anybody attacks China, then they're attacking North Korea. And so China will protect North Korea. And this was a couple years ago. The United States was thinking about going in and wiping out North Korea's nuclear arsenal. But they were worried about that treaty. And so they held back because it'd be like attacking China. It's basically almost the same thing. And China said, hey, you know what? If North Korea attacks first, you can go in. You can go in. And we will stand back. We'll stand down. But if you attack North Korea first, then we won't stand down. And so they never did attack North Korea first. And North Korea has built up this nuclear arsenal extensively now at this point. They probably got probably at least a dozen thermonuclear weapons. Possibly more, And they've got some of these nuclear weapons aimed right at Seoul, South Korea. It's just minutes away if they launch an ICBM to have it land right on Seoul. So we got to watch this situation carefully. Let's get the chart started right here and take a look at this situation. North Korean Army is fully ready to enter the demilitarized zone. And they're so upset, the North Koreans right now, that there's a liaison's office or whatever that was for both countries, for North and South Korea. They blew it to pieces with high explosives, and then they burned it down, and then they tore up the rubble. They're so angry at South Korea right now. And now they're talking about going into the demilitarized zone. Says we're fully ready to enter the demilitarized zone. So tensions are heating up between North and South Korea big time. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on this situation and any developments in it for you guys as the situation develops. So let's get into the markets today. We're going to take a look now at the price of silver. Silver is $17.42. It's up 5 cents on the day. We're looking at it pretty much going along sideways in a very narrow trading range. Now, it did dip down yesterday. It dipped down as low as $16.90. but only for a short period of time, so that the rich people could gobble up a lot of the physical metal. I'm being kind of facetious, but that's probably what they were doing. They manipulate the price downwards, and then what they do is then they take the physical, and they can buy it with a very, very low premium, and they can scoop up voluminous amounts of physical at when the price tips down to its lowest. So they can get it for like $16.93 yesterday, and they were probably buying it up. And see, when it started to go back up again, that was when they were buying. They buy it until it goes back up. They short it with the paper short contracts, and then they gobble up the physical. They've been doing this for a long time now, And J.P. Morgan, they got huge quantities of physical that they get it at cheaper price than everybody else. So now we're going to look at is gold. $17.26. It's up $3.10 on the day, and it's traveling in this very narrow trading range as well, between 17.20 and 17.35. So that's what gold's doing today. Let's take a look at cryptocurrencies. $267.4 billion with a Bitcoin dominance of 62.5%. And we're looking at a Bitcoin price of $94.70. Bitcoin has kind of like really been going along sideways lately, They can't decide whether it's going to be deflation or inflation, but I know inflation's going to win in the end, because if they let the deflation go too far, the system will entirely collapse. And so the Fed is right now, they've done a massive amounts of stimulus, and right now they're sitting back more or less to see if this stimulus will hold things up good enough so that they don't have to do more. They don't want to do more. They're only going to do more stimulus if they're forced into it. And so they're going to kind of try to stay pat on this a little bit, the Fed. Dow Jones today, what we're looking at is up 570 points in the day. Up 2.23% at 26,338 for the Dow. You notice it made that sudden gain this morning, and ever since then, what it's been doing is it's been slowly sliding down. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Dow close even in the negative, possibly, today, because the fundamentals out there, earnings are so, the market fundamentals are so far off right now, considering the price of the market. It's never been, in the history of the market, it's never been this far skewed from reality, the market. This is the worst it's ever been in history. And it's only because of market manipulation. The amount of money that they're pumping into these markets is absolutely unreal. Let's take a look at crude oil. $37.21. It's up 9 cents on the day so far. Let's move on to U.S. Treasuries. And what we're looking at is, we're looking at the U.S. 30-year at it's 9 basis points rising on the 30-year. It's at 1.52. And we're looking at the 10-year at 0.75, and it's up 5 basis points as well. Okay, let's move on and take a look at the U.S. dollar index. 96.97. We're seeing a little bit of a rise in dollar today. It seems to have peaked and crested in around 11 o'clock this morning, and now it seems to be settling back down again a little bit. But we're at 96.97 right now in the U.S. dollar index. Okay, we've done this story on North Korea. I'm going to be keeping my eye on North Korea. North Korea is a situation that could escalate out of control awfully quick if the North Koreans were to actually make good on their threats. Now, oftentimes, North Korea over the years has made an awful lot of threats. That's not uncommon for them to make threats. But you got to take them seriously. They are a very, very powerful military force in the earth. And considering the size of their country, they're amazingly powerful. Considering their country is so small. Thank you guys for listening. Give me a thumbs up. Catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.